Yes.
You get to make a fun choice.
Okay.
An out-of-character choice.
Ooh, okay.
And you can choose to speak to James for up to 10 minutes in complete privacy with just me and exclude both of these people.
Yep.
The reason why you can do that is just to fuck with them on the off chance that we talk about something important that they will have to find out the hard way if they are so inclined.
Yep.
Or you can be a boring piece of shit and just let them listen to everything. It's up to you.
No, I want to take to James in private.
Okay,
you want to take to James.
You want to be a deceptive fuck? Good.
Yep.
All right.
Do you want us to leave and we'll just come back?
Let's see. Is there a way that I can like slap you in gay baby jail in this call?
No.
I think you could just call.
We could mute you.
You could just call me directly, and then me and you can both just join back in on this call after.
If we mute both of you, though, then nobody has to leave, and you just accept that in good faith that we listened to the whole.
Absolutely
meeting.
not. I want you completely and utterly deprived. No, you will be utterly deprived. You can be in a call with Mr. Spoon. You and Game Jumper can enjoy the call, and I will be right back.
So, Spoon, what did you get for Christmas?
Radio. It is about 10:30. A quiet night. The dinner has recently ended, and the group has just begun making their way out of the house. However, Thea says she'll catch up, and stays behind for some reason. In the meantime, do Vivian and Thomas interact at all?
I would be probably following him if he's leaving. But like quiet, still in shock, looking down kind of thing.
Okay. Horribly traumatized. Good.
I'll probably lean up against the RV. Eventually notice she's down in the dumps. Yeah, right?
I'll pause briefly and just go, yeah. And then I'll get in the RV and sit as far in the back as possible.
All right. I won't give you an insight check, Spoon. This is one of those situations where, unless Vivian pulls off a masterclass in acting, it's quite obvious that she's bothered. Whether or not you pursue that is up to you, but that is the gist of the situation. It doesn't take too long for Thea to exit the home. Maybe about 5 minutes or so passes, and as she's leaving Mrs. Holloman's rural estate, she comes out texting on her phone. And before long, she is near the RV, making her way toward the driver's seat. If you two wish to interact, you may do so.
I will wave.
All right, well, as soon as I get in the car, I'm going to turn around and look at Vivian. What the fuck do you think you're doing in that dress? Get it off now.
Did I miss something?
Completely disassociated, I'll just take the dress off.
All right. I'm guessing you're in such a state that modesty isn't really at the top of your priority list?
No, I don't give a shit.
All right, yeah, you see Vivian and Thomas, so do you, just as requested or ordered rather, very quickly take the dress off and put it on the nearby counter, with no real concern for her general modesty. She is basically buck naked except for her bra and chosen crotch covering wear, whatever that might be. And she definitely seems in a state of sort, and she's barely responsive. She just sort of kind of sits there in a bit of a stupor, back of the camper. Since the front light is on, you can kind of see in the back.
Now look here, Sugar, you are crazier than a wet salad in a can. But I'll tell you what, I don't care how crazy you are. You go messing with my stuff again, me and you're going to have problems. Now, I don't know what all that craziness was, but it is no excuse for messing with my stuff. We just met today, and I don't take kindly to that.
I'll just nod as a gesture of hearing her and understanding.
Now that that's out of the way, Tommy, I sure appreciate you inviting me to this shindig. I hope you don't mind. I just couldn't contain myself. I had a mess just a little bit.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you know, acting like we were a couple and all that. I know we just met each other. I just couldn't help it. He was all, you know, oh, Tommy got to get together with somebody, and I just figured I got to mess with him a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm very aware of the several problems you've created for me that I have to clean up. Don't you mind?
Oh, well, now I wouldn't consider that a problem. I just made you look good, Zol.
Aye. Until I come back without you. Then it'll be, where's Nia? Where's Nia been? Did you two break up? How did you fuck this up, Tommy?
That doesn't seem like a problem. That just seems like entertainment.
Perhaps for you?
Well, yeah. Anywho, where are we headed? Tommy taking you back to your place?
That sounds like an idea.
Hey, crazy, where are you? We want me to drop you off?
I'll just say Tommy's quietly.
All right. Even got a cute little couch in the corner. All right. Is that the gist of the interactions, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Everybody's good? Yep.
Yep.
All right. After a long and enjoyable or traumatizing night, depending on who you are, the ride back is short but feels long. There's definitely tension in the air, and it doesn't seem to lessen as Thomas pulls the RV back into the driveway as Thea pulls the RV back into the driveway and settles in. She turns off the engine and just kind of sits back in her seat, letting the events of the night sort of sink in, as do the rest of you. You are back in Thomas's abode, as it were, and in his neighborhood. Much like the night before, it is relatively quiet, all things considered, but the general state of affairs in this place, as awful as they are, does seem to at least somewhat distract from what had happened prior at the rural estate of Mrs. Holloman. And you can see that there seems to be a gathering of rather unkempt, kind of shady-looking vagrants sort of at the foot of the garage. They seem to be gathered there, sitting amidst a pile of assorted clothing, blankets. There are about 3 of them, and they just sort of kind of loiter there, uninvited, unwelcome, or at least that is the assumption. They seem to not even really be cognizant of the fact that the RV had pulled in, lights blaring in their eyes. They seem very much in a borderline comatose state, or at the very least sleeping. I'm gonna go check on my coffee. I will be right back.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna go get a soda.
Tea.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Coffee does sound good, though. I'm off tomorrow. I can do it.
Spoon, I had already shown Star the photos of my RV, but I dropped them in our chat for you too.
Yep.
And she also adopted her country accent suddenly.
You know, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to not talk like that all the time anyways, and then like making myself talk like that is The funny thing was, like, I was listening back to one of the our very first session, and I was trying to be much more Texan, and it is slowly morphed to just full on Southern.
You sound like you're from Tennessee.
I got family in Tennessee. I got family in Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. I got family just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. All over Florida, Louisiana.
I'm gonna plug my fan in, but I had to turn off my echo cancellation because it cut out my voice too much on these. So tell me if it's too loud, and if it is, then I'll just turn it off and open my window instead.
You sound fine.
So far.
Well, I haven't plugged it in yet.
Oh.
Is it too loud?
Nope.
No.
Sound exactly the same.
Oh, thank God. Oh my God, since we're in an intermission here, so I was telling Spoon while you were off gallivanting away with my man about how I had started playing this new game on my phone where you could like get married in it, and the benefit of being married was like an XP boost, and then like there's this tree that opens up that when as you level it up you get boosts to your stats and everything too, but you can only level it up if you're married, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this kid had like added me in the game and immediately started asking me to marry him, but I've been like leveling up my affection not to get married to this person per se, because today was my 3rd day playing this game, and the server's only been open for 4 days. But we just happen to always be the ones that are in the thing that builds your affection for that together. And so he was like begging me to marry him and shit. It started with, so how old are you? And I was like 31. He goes, stop lying. And it's like, who lies about being in their 30s? He's like, that's true. He's like, so you want to get married? It's like, no, you're probably closer to my daughter's age than you are to mine. So I'm good. And he was like, oh, come on, let's do it. And I was, no. So he asked me like 5 times before I finally told him, no, I'm trying to marry somebody else. So that guy logged in today. We did the things that we normally do together because it just happens that way. I don't know why. And I told him about the story. And he laughed, and I was like, so on that note, you want to get married? So we got married today in the game. And I was talking to him, and he was like, oh, yeah, we're in Texas right now visiting family, visiting the in-laws. And he was like, this is our last day in Texas, though. And I was like, oh, okay. Where are you and your wife, or, where are you and your wife going back to after Texas? And I was like, or husband. I guess I shouldn't assume. First of all, I didn't get a confirmation on whether he's gay or straight in that regard. But I do know that he said that they were going back to Missouri. And I was like, no way. He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm from Missouri. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, small world.
I walked
It was
into
pretty
the
fun.
middle of something. Are you trying to seduce some gay boy into your web of fuckery?
No. I married a possibly married gay man in a game. But more than
That's
likely
interesting.
a married straight man. And he just
Huh?
happens to live in the same state, which was funny.
Wait, hold on, rewind.
In-game
Okay,
mechanical
you-
EXP
you-
boost thing.
Right. Okay, you in-game married a guy who in real life is gay and married, yeah?
Possible. I'm pretty sure straight and married, but yeah.
Oh my god, you ladies. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I wanted the XP boost, god damn it. There's like the max level is 450 something. I'm only level 129.
I got married for I got
married for the benefits.
Could you have possibly had a more IRL motivation for getting married? The XP XD. Okay.
What's XP?
Experience
points.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait, the D is in dog, XP XD?
You ever seen this? This shitty little face? That.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I
So
wasn't sure if that's what you were talking about. The emoticon. I got you now.
So something like this. That's what I heard.
Sounds about right.
Just very, very casually and matter of fact, yeah, I got married. Teehee. What? For the benefit. Well, I mean,
Surprise, surprise!
It was not a marriage of love, but a marriage of convenience.
Don't worry, that's typically how they work. That being said.
Oh, right. Let me finish what I was telling you.
Cynic.
Is there? Well, I'm not a Disney guy for the right reasons.
Ugh.
Oh, what's this? Let's see. Hold on here. Okay, when do you want to do this? Are you doing this in plain sight, Star, or are you just doing this once you wrap things up? When would you like to commence?
When we wrap things up.
Okay. The situation at the moment is Thea has pulled just slightly further back in the driveway than normal because of the 3 vagrants just kind of lingering by Tommy's garage entrance. The lights in the house are, as normal, kept off. And whatever old searchlights had once been here, small ones, had long since stopped working. At the moment, the neighborhood is quiet, and it's very obvious that police have been here. And in fact, there is still a police car across the road, and at least 2 officers, both male, interviewing or otherwise questioning some of the nearby local population, that being basically what very few people still remain in their homes in this area, and some of the homeless. At the moment, you are not being bothered. Your house doesn't appear to be under particular observation that you can note, Tommy. And it just seems like they're doing a casual sort of surface level investigation of whatever might have happened here. Let's see.
Okay. Are vagrants being outside of my house in particular unusual at all? Does this happen often?
Yeah, this is pretty normal in this neighborhood. Again, this is considered to be gang territory that is highly contested. This happens a couple times a week. It's not always somebody who is on the rough side of life, as it were. Sometimes it's a young kid or kind of an older man in a gang, or several of them. Tonight, it just happens to be not only closer to your home, but somebody that's part of a population that perhaps you prefer dealing with.
Okay.
Okay, one sec. There we go. Radio, what would you guys like to do? If you wish for a further description of the scene, I can do that. If you wish to just roleplay, you can also do that. So it is in your hands.
To reiterate, it seems that the vagrants don't wish to be bothered as they are attempting to sleep or are sleeping.
Without a roll, I can give you this. It's not incorrect or unsafe to assume that they're likely on some sort of hard drug that puts them in a very
State.
yeah, borderline kind of comatose state, very inactive, kind of disheveled, distracted, not really here. They may say things or do things that don't necessarily make sense. Their words tend to be very quick and brief, as if they would say anything just for you not to bother them. However, you're schooled enough in medicine to know that the come-down effect from this drug, at least such that they can begin getting on their way, and thus out of yours, is if it's recent, probably a couple hours, depending on the dose. Although, you could always try and hurry them on ahead of time, but who's to say they wouldn't get irritated or upset? Their mental state is questionable.
Okay, I'll leave them be.
Away from sunrise.
Okay. Does anybody wish to do anything before we choose where we are going to be sleeping for the night?
I'm going to put my clothes back on. Still quietly, though.
All right. I will assume that you do that skillfully and quickly as you can, given that for the brief few seconds you do snap back into lucidity, you realize, oh wow, I am a hair away from being completely naked in front of these strangers. That also being said, how are you feeling about everything that has transpired, Vivian?
She's heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. And shocked. And hurt. And in disbelief.
A bit of a shock, wasn't it? Was there anything that you were surprised about other than, the general proposal and state and depth of that relationship? Anything else?
I would say that I would also be a little shocked that my future mother-in-law was so approving of this horse shit.
That is strange, isn't it? Come to think of it, hold on here. Give me an insight check for a little piece of information.
Just insight straight?
Insight, sorry, give me an intelligence and insight check.
Oh, God bless it. I will remember how to do this. I figured it out. Okay.
One success. That's good enough. Okay. Hold on here. Yep, good enough. All right. You remember that there was one little detail that doesn't seem to have come up during the dinner, and that's that before a lot of this really started picking up, especially since before you were recently turned, James seemed to have been frequenting a mixed martial arts gym quite a bit over the last couple months. And a lot of his changes in demeanor and kind of outlook in life seem to have begun around the time he started taking classes there. That is all I can give you.
What's the name of the place he was taking the classes at?
It is a place called The Rock.
Of course it is.
Keep that in mind. All right. Thea, how is Thea feeling about this? All that has transpired.
It has been a long day. I mean, it's basically, this is the same day that she met all these people.
Yeah.
So she thinks Vivian is completely crazy. And
there may be something to that.
Not exactly sure how she feels about her. I think at first she almost pitied her a little bit. And now she's just not sure. She is not so sure about being teamed up with everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of still unconvinced that this is the best course of action for her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think just cautiously curious at this point.
Fair enough. Mr. Jag, how do you feel about this situation?
Neutral.
Ooh, a brave stance. Neutral.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
So, what did you seem to take from the events that transpired? Anything out of the ordinary, or did it all just kind of seem pretty normal?
Oh, except for Vivian just appearing out of the dead of the night with a gun to Nia's back and just having some strange excuse that she needed to be inside of that house for some ungiven reason other than she had a vision.
Is it in any way concerning to you that the place she desperately needed to get inside happened to be one that just was close to somebody that you're on good terms with?
It is of minute concern, yes.
Okay. Your phone rings. Ding, ling, 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 ding, ling, ling, ling. You check who it is?
Ah, for fuck's sake. Oh!
Thomas? You recognize this voice. It's Rosalind.
Is it Rosin?
Have you managed to make any progress on our task?
We know the locations of where some of the kidnappings are happening. broad spectrum of several other sections of the city, mostly where a lot of the homeless hang out. I know some of the victims.
Ooh.
And we have a potential date for a frequent date in which they tend to come. Though the date tends to vary according to some sources.
Any names, Thomas, of those who are suspected to perhaps be leading or encouraging this particular set of incidents, or is this a unrelated affair?
Hold on, pause game. I just noticed, what the hell happened to my notes?
You knew too much, Spoon. I had to delete them. In all seriousness, I have no idea. Game notes. They're right here. I see them. Yeah. Do you want me to link you to your own notes?
I'm looking at it right now. It's like, what happened to my notes? I filled out several of these bubbles, but they're just not there.
Let's see. Are we on the same page? Looks about the same. Okay. Did anybody else take notes?
What was the question?
The question that Rosalind asked was, are there any ringleaders or people of import that happen to be involved in these incidents or suspected to be involved in these incidents? Basically, is there anything that seems important that you can list by name that you've managed to discover?
I don't think it's anything that she didn't know.
Yeah, Sweetie Pepper guy, but like him and like the homeless guys and all the other shit, all my notes are gone.
Well, I mean, Sweetie Pepper, she gave us his information, didn't she?
No, she didn't. Fucking the
I thought she
guy
did.
gave us that information.
Peter gave that information.
Peter gave it to us?
Yeah,
Okay,
so... Yeah, like, Peter's name is gone, and, like, the homeless guys are gone, and Sweetie Pepper is, like, his name's gone. Where the fuck are my notes?
Is it the same file, Spoon, just called Game Notes? Because that's the one I'm looking at right now. Do you want me to just link you where I'm looking?
Sure.
Sure. Apparently we're in a brief intermission while Spoon-A-Lot has a stroke. Stand by. There you go.
I'm looking through my physical notebook.
Ooh. Physical paper!
I know. I'm
God.
old school. Vivian.
Okay, yeah, this is the more up-to-date one. Never mind. For whatever reason, I still have a bookmark on Vamp Tramps, which is basically the beta version of this, which is copy-pasted.
Don't worry, Spoon. When in doubt, your good friend Brian will always be there to do everything.
Alright, so, yep, I would then respond.
Okay.
We got a suspect of one of the gangs. Name is Nicholas White. Goes by Sweetie Pepper. It's strange.
Sweetie Pepper. The black supremacist?
Know him? Love him?
Our benefactor has some information regarding his activities in the city. Interesting. I wonder what he could be planning. Is his involvement tangential, coincidental, or more involved, do you think?
Unconfirmed. The only other lead I have so far is that at the scene I managed to find a card for a local business, the King Motors, which I believe is in Los Reyes territory.
The King Motors, yes. Be careful if you should choose to go there. That is a very obvious, not so obvious front for one of the South American gangs. Anything else?
Other than that, I know that Nicholas's coterie, who I believe called themselves the Black Peace Foundation. She probably hears my character muttering, is like, what is with these? Likely there's some somewhat tendentially involved at the very least? Or at the very least are suspected?
That Mr. Pepper has a coterie, however, that is not the name. That sounds like... I suppose that makes sense. That is a very extremist
Political affiliations?
African-American gang that is independent of, I believe, the Chicago Crips, which are currently operating out of 83rd, 87th, Ickersall Stadium Park and Russell Park, if my notes are correct.
I have that for Los Reyes.
Or, sorry, East 83rd, 87th, and South Chicago Avenue is what you would have said.
For the Crips.
Yes. 2 of those areas are contested.
83rd and 87th.
Yep.
I got notes, motherfucker!
Proud of you, son. That said, well, we didn't know that Mr. Pepper was involved. Our benefactor will be very pleased to know that there is at the very least some connection between him and a lot of these unfortunate gang-related incidents that seem to be stirred up in those areas. As a request, on the side, of course, if you have, if you just so happen to stumble upon a way to exercise these gangs from both neighborhoods, I can assure you that our benefactor would reward you and your companions quite handsomely with a favor within his power. A boon, as it were. As an aside, of course, to the job you are currently doing. Between us, Thomas, and only between us, it is very difficult to invest in suburban improvement projects with gang warfare a constant. You understand? You see, our benefactor is interested in bringing back the glory of some of Chicago's old neighborhoods. Unfortunately, some of the less than savory characters that now call that place their territory, as it were, seem resistant to that idea. And by resistant, I mean they keep killing people there and making it less appealing for wholesome, acceptable families with good values to move in, and more importantly, with steady, well-paying middle-class jobs to take those homes. You understand, of course.
Aye.
Now, if those gangs just so happen to disappear in a sensible and quiet manner, I'm sure he would be more than thrilled about that circumstance. Legally, of course.
I'll look into it.
Thank you, Thomas. Have yourself a good night, and do keep me updated. I expect to hear from you within the week.
Will do.
Oh! And, I've spoken to Peter. He seems quite impressed with the little motley crew you have managed to stitch together, or that we have managed to stitch together, as it were. Which one of your compatriots is known as Rat?
Vivian?
We're at the stage of nicknames. That's so cute. Wow. He seems especially taken with her. In any case, good night, Thomas.
Good night, Mrs. Austin.
We will speak again soon. Beep! Boom! The hum of the phone, dead on the line, now sounds in your ear. Okay. Things are heating up a bit. So, a lot of things are going to happen. We'll start in order. So, step 1, I'm going to get more coffee. Step 2, I'm gonna smoke meth. And step 3, I will come back and keep GMing. Give me a minute.
That is only step
With his
3 of
mini
this 20-step
shits.
program.
Damn, he keeps talking about coffee. Let me see. Are you awake? No.
I am awake.
No, we gotta change it. You up? Question mark.
What are you talking about? What's going on? What are you talking about?
I'm trying to see if my mom's awake so that she'll make me coffee for once, because she's always texting me and asking me to do it.
Oh. I see. Oh, that is so big. Why are you so big? Stop it. There we go. So your notes disappeared, Spoon.
Nope, I got
I
it.
think he said he found them. Can
Oh,
I
you
have
did,
your
okay.
updated notes?
No.
Because the last thing that I have that's not James related was gather information on Nicholas, Sweetie Pepper, White, investigate disappearances, gangs, Los Reyes, Chicago Crips, Black Pea, Stone Nation, Sweetie Peppers, to contact Peter, Nos, contact Miller. And then everything else is about James or Christine.
That's about right.
Mostly because the stuff that you guys learned over at the homeless park, I wasn't there for.
Right.
Yep.
But now that you've told her about all that, I think I should probably have those. Oh my god. Sin.
Star.
What if I made a cookies and cream cocoa bomb?
I would eat that.
You don't eat it, you drink it, Goofy.
Yes, you can
Yeah,
say
I
that.
would eat that. I said what I said.
I'm watching this lady right now make these
Phrasing?
like
That's
cookies
creepy.
and cream things. And it looks like it could be like put into a bag and piped, and then they freeze into the shape that she makes them. So I could probably make the spiders out of that, and they'd be
Piped?
cookie and cream flavored.
Wiggly eyebrows. Piped.
Mm-hmm. Wiggly legs.
Mm. Oh.
What?
Ooh. Sorry about that. If I wake up and I don't get my coffee, I get crabby. Anyway.
Oh, we don't want a crabby DM.
Well, I would never take it out on you guys, but the temptation would be there. Let's see. Right, so a lot of things are about to happen. So let's start in order. Mr. Jag, you have yet to enter your abode. The garage doorway is currently kind of impeded by these 3 people, and since it swings outward and not inward, it's, well, kind of an issue. You could always go in the other door. You do have a key for it, but it's annoying. And they're there on your kind of haven property, which is a bit, I mean, they're not exactly invited. But you have chosen to leave them. Do you wish to do anything at the moment?
I'll probably make my way inside through the front door. Just make sure there's no one like uninvited inside that might make things interesting if I have to move the vagrants.
No, that's. I mean, there are people that kind of swing in and out of this location near constantly. The only place they don't seem to really go into, likely due to some sort of understanding or agreement, is your personal space in this old home, which tends to be the garage area and like the little side office, like an old workshop that you currently reside in. However, it's not uncommon for you to occasionally see vagrants here or there just kind of squatting on the property. You haven't really had terrible interactions with them. You have a reasonable understanding. So long as they stay out of your area, you don't really care what they do here. However, perhaps they should pray you do not alter the deal further. What's up to you? That being said, none of them would actively impede you from going to your space. They're currently minding their own business, speaking amongst themselves, shooting up whatever it is their drug of choice happens to be, sitting, standing, leaning in odd, almost borderline inhuman positions while on some sort of substance. They're definitely sufficiently distracted. And you also know that you do feed from these people every so often, so you've got your food at your home. Lucky for you.
Maybe not in view of the cops.
Oh, no, that's inside. Outside, I mean, it's a similar scene outside, but the cops in your area have gotten to the point where this is one of those things that isn't really worth pursuing most of the time in this area, even though it is illegal, technically. Most drugs in the United States, with the exception of marijuana in very select states, tend to be illegal as far as I'm aware. At least on the books. Now, whether or not that's enforced, that's another question. Chicago, much like other big cities like California, tend to be excessively relaxed on such behaviors. And unfortunately, there is a downside to that, and you are looking at it.
Yep. Well, if they're just going to present themselves to me, I guess my character is probably going to go behind a sufficiently distracted either junkie or zoned out homeless person, and I would like to feed.
What is your hunger at right now, Mr. Jag?
2.
Could I perhaps make a recommendation?
Sure.
I would recommend that perhaps you feed after you wake up for the night, provided you fail a rouse check.
That makes sense.
Unless you wish to do so just for roleplay purposes, in which case you may. You'll still gain the benefits, but you... Okay. Fair enough. Well, there will be people around, or there. Do you wish to do anything before you settle in for your night's sleep? Interact with any of your lovely party members? Or otherwise?
I'll ask Thea if she's particularly fussed about getting the RV back into the garage again.
Oh yeah, sugar. I won't get that thing back in your garage. We've already dealt with some undesirables. And if I'm going to be going to bed soon, I'd like to be protected.
Alright. I'll see what I can do.
So, Thea, you will be staying here.
Why not?
Sorry?
I said, yeah, why not?
I mean, it would be unbecoming of a lady to leave her soon-to-be betrothed all on his lonesome. So that is very sweet of you to be his loving support system. God bless.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Suddenly, Thea has become very noble. Okay. You two are spoken for. Vivian. Dear, sad, lonely, borderline depressive Vivian. I have taken note of your situation and what you had told me you have chosen to do. Take 1 point of aggravated damage.
Is that the X or the slash?
It's the big boy X.
Okay. And then did you read my most recent messages by chance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. I would recommend, before this happens, I'm going to double check something here on your character sheet. Why do I keep getting... here we go. Yep. Okay. All right. Do you wish to roleplay this scene out, or do you wish to just have your drinky poo and then commence the next scene?
No, we don't have to roleplay it out.
Okay. Give me a check. I will call upon your. Let's see. What is your feeding type? Your feeding type. Ah, you're a predator. Okay. Give me a dexterity and a stealth check. There is no way to tell somebody they're a predator and have it sound good, but that is just kind of your lot in life, I'm afraid. Let's see. There we go. Just double checking to make sure that we've got the right one. Let's see. Sorry if this is slowing down. I'm still getting some of the little details of this system down, making sure that...
You're fine.
Just making sure you're not doing something that is making this exceedingly difficult for no reason. Is this nonsense? Okay. It's probably just on your sheet. I'm just stupid missing it. What was your predator type, Vivian? I'm looking for it right here. Did you write that down?
I don't think so, because I don't even know what you're talking about. Where is that on the book?
Yeah, so your predator type is essentially how your character prefers to feed, i.e., your preferred method for getting blood from.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and it's different for all of you. You each have your own kind of preference for how you do this.
If I remember correctly, she feeds on the sleeping.
Sandman. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense. That well, you don't have any particular preference outside of the fact that they are sleeping, so that actually won't be too difficult in Tommy's area, because there are a lot of people who just so happen to be sleeping or in a sleep-like state. So I'll tell you what.
And even better, if they're high enough, they're already asleep.
Wow, you got a critical success for 5, 6. Wow, that's a lot of success. Okay, yeah. You not only find somebody who is asleep, but you also happen to find somebody with a melancholic resonance, which is particularly handy if you wish to hone specific vampiric disciplines which are reliant on blood of this type. If you're wondering what that means, so the melancholic resonance, the emotions and conditions that are typically present in that are like sadness, fear, or being scared. People who are intellectual or depressed or particularly grounded tend to have a lot of that. And it's no surprise that the unfortunate vagrant that you have found, a rather thin, malnourished-looking woman with brown hair and horrible scarring on her hands and face, several cuts and smudge marks and just horrible signs of being unkempt and generally abandoned in life and in this world. She sort of is leaned up, head posed back against one of the abandoned homes, one of the many in this particular old suburb. And she seems to have kind of a peaceful look on her face, like she's drifted off into another realm of sorts. She has several... One of the things of note that you wouldn't really know professionally, but that you could maybe make assumptions about, was she has several layers of scrunched up, flattened out, or otherwise kind of scattered, burnt bits of tinfoil nearby. And looking carefully, you can see several like tiny glass fixtures of sorts with a bulbous end that are also burnt at the very tip. Unless Vivian is particularly naive, is she?
No.
It is safe to assume that this is likely some sort of drug paraphernalia. And if you're more familiar with drugs, this is likely some sort of pipe, crack pipe, or something else. However, it's very clear that this person has gone into their happy place. Do you wish to drink from this person?
Yes, but I have a yes or no question real quick that I sent you.
Okay, let's see. Yes, but the other occurrence will still take place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It's just one, right?
Hold on. I'm gonna. That is what I will tell you. I would also recommend that should you choose to do this, perhaps you do it after tonight and not right now.
Okay.
That being said, you got an exceptional roll, and despite this person's case, there's no guarantee that they'll still be here tomorrow. So you're in a bit of a strange place.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. You will have no difficulty slaking your hunger on this unaware, unfortunate soul that it is apparently in a sleep-like state. The wash of her blood is unusual. Your thoughts kind of begin to swim in a very kind of harmonious manner, and it's easy to get lost in the sensation as you suddenly feel some sort of inexplicable calm wash over you. Time itself seems to kind of slow. Your pupils dilate ever so slightly, and your head kind of lilts back as you pull your fangs from her throat and lick the wound closed. To an onlooker, it would just appear that you're checking on this person. The feeling is indescribable. The pain that you have felt from the events earlier, while still present, seems numbed and less concerning for the moment, as a unfamiliar sensation of peace overcomes you. Before you know it, once you snap out of it, even for a few seconds, and look at your watch, or rather check the time on your phone, depending on whether or not you even have a watch, 30 minutes have passed, and you've sort of just been there, just staring, sitting, kneeling, just sort of stuck in this space, enjoying the peace that it offers you. In fact, the only thing more powerful than this sensation is the familiar taste of fresh, not entirely choice, but still warm and satisfying blood. You hear that. You cannot hear that voice that occasionally pricks up, one of the many that makes its residency in your thoughts, but you can feel it purr in your gut in approval. as you satiate its endless hunger. Yet words are not spoken. Any longer here, and it's going to start to look strange.
Then I'll go ahead and head home.
I'm going to look up, before we rest for the night, what effects that will bestow on you. But here's what I will do for you. What I want you to do, because this is necessary for your for leveling up your disciplines, is I want you to write down melancholic resonance 1, meaning you've drank from one person that has this. This matters for leveling up your powers. That applies to all of you.
Okay.
One of you, I do believe, has the ability to smell this, smell resonances on people, without tasting anything. I won't say who, but that is a very handy ability for getting the blood types that you prefer, or the feelings, rushes, and highs that you prefer, and there are other benefits. Now, there is one thing that I want to look into really quick. That is potential benefits. Melancholic. Here we go.
Aha, I have successfully tricked my mother.
Good. What a noble goal.
I asked her if she was feeling okay before I asked her to do something for me. She said yes.
Good.
She said yes, why?
Be nice to Mom. Okay. I have decided... Okay. I have decided that, no, unfortunately, it's just a weird spot. Never mind. Damn, that sucks. If the night was longer, this would make sense. Oh well. Another time. Okay. You can head home and proceed with your chosen action. You will take 1 point of aggravated damage, and much to your chagrin, you will survive the night. Do you wish to heal that damage? Well, does anybody else wish to do anything before we partake in the first night's sleep?
Did I ever manage to get those vagrants out of the way?
You went in through the alternate location, so...
Right, but I asked Nia if she wanted me to get them out of the way so that her RV could go in the garage.
If you wish to play out a scene, I'm just waiting to see what you guys want to do.
Yeah, sure, I'll try and gently prod them out of the way at first. Like, hey, I'm trying to park a car.
The man that you prod, short, stockily built, doesn't seem to pay you much mind. He has a long kind of brown beard and a sort of a world-weary face. He just sort of softly nods and kind of makes rough approximations of speaking noises, but it's all gibberish. He doesn't appear to be moving. You can see that his exposed fingertips through his gloves, which are horribly ripped and not as a style choice, are almost grayish, like blackish at the end, almost like he were suffering from minor frostbite of some kind.
That can't be good.
He just sort of nods his head weakly, and remains seated.
Is he in like close proximity to other people? Was he just like in some kind of like little druggy circle? Like, what's his proximity to the vagrants?
They're literally like huddled in on each other for warmth, and they're just all sort of in a dazed state, just kind of leaned up against each other. There's this man and 2 women just kind of lean not only against each other, but also against your garage door. They appear to be in very similar states, although the women seem either sleeping or far more gone than the man. It's difficult to tell who's been taking what, but you can tell that just through the tinfoil scattered around, the burnt tinfoil scattered around, the several different kind of almost disposable pipes, and a few needles that are kind of kicking around, clearly used, that if they haven't been mixing, then they've at the very least been doing a lot, and the fact that they're even remotely conscious is pretty impressive, or at least in his case.
Okay. Change of plans. I'm going to, one by one, essentially prop them up the side of the building after, like, lifting and carrying them, assuming they're, like, boosted enough to just, like, not really give a shit what's happening to them, and I'll prop them up together as they were before, essentially.
How,
out of the way.
Sure. So the man is still heavy.
Yep.
The women, you'll struggle. Oh no, you're actually fairly strong. Never mind. Yeah, just give me a strength and I believe it's athletics check. It's not particularly difficult, so you should be able to. Let's see, strength. Yeah, strength and athletics. You don't need much. Let us have a look at what Mr. Jag rolled. Oh yeah, you're fine. 3 successes. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, without much effort, you can basically kind of... how do you wish to prop them up? You just wish to kind of... What you are dealing with right now is dead weight. Like, they're not uncooperative, but they're so out of it that they can't really assist you.
Right,
Thea,
so...
you see all this as it's
right.
going on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's enjoying the show. So, how I envision this in my head is essentially like they're all like huddled or like lying down against the driveway. So I'm essentially gonna prop them up against the side of the house, as opposed to like the garage door. And then I'm essentially gonna put them all huddled together, and I'm gonna give them a blanket.
Okay, so you're basically repositioning them and throwing a blanket over them to keep them warm. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Before you ask, I do not expect this blanket to be there in the morning.
Mm-hmm. You can do all of that fairly effortlessly, and you won't be met with any protests. These people are very much in a different place right now.
Am I accosted by the police while this is happening?
At the moment, the police are operating just far enough away from your location and are distracted enough with others that they do not notice this.
Okay.
Bear in mind that the 2 cops are currently interviewing what appear to be at least 3 or 4 vagrants in the area simultaneously across the street with their backs turned to your home. Even as your vehicle was pulling in, they did give it a glance, but they didn't veer away from the conversation they were having, so they're fixated on these people. Focused, as it were. So at the moment, you seem to be able to operate unimpeded.
Okay, well, assuming there's no further distractions, my character will probably prop up in the garage door, bang a couple times on the RV, and then motion for Nia to drive it in.
Thea, do you commence with the ritual of driving, parking, and doing your whole shtick?
I do.
You and I both know that I couldn't just let you do this peacefully without a drive check, don't you?
Come on, man.
Absolutely not. Mr. Jag must pay the toll. Give me a drive check.
I didn't burn no coal.
You will.
Is it just drive, and dexterity?
Yeah, dexterity and drive. This is more about fine maneuvering, less about being composed.
Okay. There you go.
Look at you with a horseshoe up your butt. Okay.
You know you love it.
Oh, you Southerners. All right. Well, Fortunately for Thomas and for Thea, the drive in is successful. However, just before Thea, likely due to being used to this from the first attempt, very skillfully manages to squeeze the RV in the tiny garage, you hear the kind of crunch and smash of something as the tires roll over what is essentially the belongings of the people that had been propped up against the garage door. That said, the drive-in is completely uneventful.
So stuffed.
Yep. Well, bless you for keeping them warm. Who are we kidding? Surely they didn't have anything valuable, right? That being said, there's an unfortunate oversight, but Thea does manage to squeeze her RV into your garage. And should you both so choose, along with Vivian, the rest of you will conk out for the night until you wake up the next night.
Good.
Once again.
I will be locking all the doors to my RV. Even though that I'm in the garage. I do not care.
Very well. That is a reasonable thing to do given the neighborhood you're in. You can cinch up all your locks and make sure everything is as secure as it can be so that you can settle in snug as a bug. Does anybody wish to do anything else? No. Okay, good. We'll start with you, Vivian.
I had a bit I wanted to do, but I didn't want to regress into Rotrin.
You had a which?
I had a bit I was thinking of doing, but I didn't want to regress into Rotrin.
Well, now we have to know.
Well, if you
I was
want
essentially gonna, after you were done locking all your doors, I would just probably like wave you into the house or my section of the house. It's like, well, come on then, wifey. Time to go to our marital bed.
That is Rotrin. It is.
Well.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably one of the more romantic meetings for people in our generation, so I'll take it.
Oh, jeez.
That being said, all of you will settle in for the long night's sleep. Vivian, you will rise first. Once the euphoria and rush of the blood passes, and more importantly, the drug that had inhabited it. Make a rouse check, Vivian. You have woken up. 1d6, you rolled a 5. Unlucky. You get 1 point hungrier. And as is usual, whenever your beast exerts even just a bit of control over your thoughts, the one voice that seems most out of your control pipes up. Well, fresh night, fresh blood. Wow, let's go find someone to drink from,
1 second.
Damn you, game jumper.
Wait a
Oh.
second.
Frosty, do you even know who Rotrin is? Have you?
I don't think he's heard any of the business management story.
Okay, sorry, my daughter called me crying because she lost her gift card.
That was her gift card? Stay mad, kid.
I don't know if my mic was working when I said it the first time. Do you need me to make another rouse check for the other thingy?
You would be making 3.
For 1?
Yes, because of the type of damage you have taken.
No, this
If
will
you-
be fun.
If you do not heal at all, bear in mind that these wounds that you have taken could potentially be visible. This will require work to cover up. And if anybody were to examine these closely, depending on how successfully you do or do not heal, this could not only be a masquerade breach, but people will probably freak the fuck out.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Aggravated
All right.
damage is bad. Okay.
First rouse check of the night was a fail, so the second rouse check is a success. You have to do 2 more. That's a fail. You get hungrier.
But you know what I don't get? All 5.
Well, okay. So you are at 3 again.
Thank God I chose to eat.
So here is what happens in order. As you call upon the beast to knit your flesh, you rouse it using the blood, and it laughs lightly, almost mockingly. Always asking me for favors, Vivian. Heal me. Drive them crazy. Hide me. And then when I say, but Vivian, I'm hungry. Could I have more? Do you know what Vivian says? More? You can't have more because you're poor. It's so heartbreaking, Vivian. I'm hungry. Feed me. Do you
All right,
respond?
all
Do you,
right.
do you
I
respond?
will.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Out loud, per usual.
Yep, you are speaking to your beast out loud, and I will assume you do so unless you specifically mention you do not.
There we go. Yeah. So I'll say, all right. Calm down. No need to get in a tizzy and start rhyming. We'll eat on the way.
I will make it very clear for you, Vivian, my sweet. I wrote this just for you. Roses are red, violets are blue. Feed me, you fucking idiot. Are we clear?
It's pretty good. You should
Thank-
get it published.
Thank you, Vivian. Now a drink?
Indeed.
Thank you. The voice quiets, but even though it ceases speaking, you can almost spiritually feel the linger of its sass.
Oh boy.
I do love me a sassy daddy.
Fuck my life. Anyway,
All right.
daddy issues aside, what do you wish to do?
I'll head. It's nighttime now, I presume, yeah?
That is correct.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and start making my way back towards Tommy's and see about getting a bloodicino on the way.
Okay. Give me the same check, dexterity and stealth. If you succeed, I will assume you find somebody suitable. If you critically succeed, you may find somebody that's especially valuable blood-wise. Let's see. Hunger dice rolled 2. Okay, 10. Yep. Wow, the rolls today. You fucking trollop. Well done.
It's not my fault you picked my best thing.
Oh shit. I gotta fuck you over more. Very well. You will find somebody to feed from. It wasn't a critical success, but you find somebody who provides you with what you need, who happens to be passed out or in some state of general disrepair or dishevelment rather, and you can restore your hunger down to 1, or perhaps quiet that incessant little voice completely, should you so wish.
Now we'll go down to 1.
Okay. There is one thing that I will request of you. What is your hunger at?
1 now.
What was it at before we start
Oh.
giving you credits?
It was 3.
Fuck. Very well. Although your hunger makes it difficult to pull away, you have just enough control over yourself that before you start to take more than you know is appropriate, you can reassert control and restrain your feral nature from completely overwhelming your good senses.
Ah, yes, yes.
You go down to 1 hunger, and you massively disappoint your greedy GM, who now has to get coffee in a baby rage. And we'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh.
I too now have coffee.
You guys are making me want coffee.
Do you work tomorrow?
I do not.
Get some coffee, biatch.
I already have a soda and a tea beside me. I don't need a...
Okay.
if I,
Neither of those are coffee, though.
I know.
This was never about need.
Both of them have caffeine, however. Man, I wish we were all like actually together, able to play this with like a table full of snacks.
Yes.
I love snacks, but I don't need them. I want them, but I don't need them.
I don't need them
mean-
either. That doesn't change the fact that I want them.
But you are one.
Oh, girl.
Ooh,
I am.
it's my favorite time of day. Innuendo o'clock. Very nice. Very nice. Now, while Vivian strolls on her merry way to Thomas's house, of course, I'm assuming that Vivian does so with unseen passage on, or does she risk the mean streets of 83rd and 87th as a petite Asian woman walking on her own winky face?
Nah.
You would you want to invoke the power of your blood to go invisible?
Yeah. I thought that I didn't have to do that if. Wait, what is there?
You don't have to.
No, it's the compel. The compel is the one where I don't have to do it. That's right.
Oh, you want unseen passage for free? Absolutely the fuck not, my dear.
No, well then I'll just fucking risk it. Screw that. I just got rid of my hunger.
Do you wish to invoke the power of your blood?
Mm-mm.
You do not. You wish to walk down the street as a tiny Asian woman in a rough neighborhood with gang violence on your own.
Better than hearing Daddy's poetry again.
You are mentally unstable, so this is something that you could feasibly do and not really think twice about.
Exactly, yeah. It's also better than Daddy's poetry. So I shall.
If you mention it a third time, I will no longer be convinced.
Give me a better one and I'll mention it again just to hear them all.
Like, you know that episode of South Park where they go to change their cable company and the employees all have those little flaps they can pull down over their nipples and just start rubbing them?
Oh my god.
Well, I don't have one of those suits, but I should. That's all I'm saying. In any case,
and it's gone.
General degeneracy aside, very well. You will not tempt the power of the blood and will instead risk the neighborhood, as it were.
I would like to state that on my way walking to Tommy's, I want to have a much different outlook than I did yesterday. I am smiling, and in fact, when I am walking, it is big steps, and I am swinging my arms wide to look fucking insane walking down the road, but I am happy.
I think if... Yeah, this is This is definitely the song that plays in my head whenever crazy people try to do normal things. I'll just drop it in chat, and you guys can definitely enjoy. Okay. Now, Thea and Mr. Jag,
Yes.
give me rouse checks.
Oh,
You rise from your deathly slumber.
that's right.
Fuck you, Thea. Never fail a check again. You both passed. Very well. You do not get hungrier as you rise from your night's slumber. And while a drink is always appreciated, at the moment there is no urgency. That could, of course, change. That said, Thomas, you hear something at the garage door, a knocking. Hello? Is anyone here? This is the CPD.
I'll go to answer it.
Do you open the garage door?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the garage door kind of swings outward and begins to rise as you push it from within. It is nighttime, of course. Probably about 8 o'clock. As you push the door open, a man... Well, two men come into sight, but one primarily comes into sight. He's tall, broad-shouldered, older, definitely balding, with brownish hair, green eyes, and a bit of a weathered-looking face. It is a police officer. He looks at you and says, "Excuse me, sir. I hate to interrupt you so late at night, but I was wondering if you'd have a moment to speak about an incident that occurred nearby."
Which one?
Well, sir, there appeared to have been a shooting across the road here. Some sort of conflict between gang members, we're told, and we were just wondering if you had seen anything.
Yeah, that's about right, Star.
Oh, Jesus. Is there 12 this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, there's 13. You're so close.
We have a medical condition. Fucking Jerry. Little shitter. Alright, what do you say, Spoon? Fucking rat.
I saw what happened.
You did? Oh, well, sir, could you please describe for me in as much detail as possible what you had seen? Faces, names, time of occurrence. You see him, you see his partner kind of take out a little notepad and pen and prepare to begin writing down whatever it is you say. And he looks at you with interest, studying you.
Yeah. My character nods, rubbing the equivalent of sleep from his eye.
Hmm?
I saw them beating up on one of the local unfortunates. He goes by the name of Donald. I don't know if he's still alive. My character tries to pass him to see if Donald is still in the street corner.
Donald. You're gonna have to forgive me. I don't usually come out to this area. We're a bit short-staffed. It was a last-minute type of thing, so I'm not familiar with a lot of the locals. You said his name was Donald?
I saved him from a heroin overdose once.
I see. Oh, what was your name?
Tommy Jack.
I'm assuming that's Thomas full?
Nope.
Correct?
Tommy.
Just Tommy. Okay. He writes your name down. All right, Tommy Jag. And you said you assisted or saved him from an overdose situation? Am I assuming you have a sort of
the incident.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so you're saying that he had passed in this area?
I don't know. I hadn't I hadn't seen him after the incident. I tried to look him over, but he was on something. While he was getting beaten up, I think for over money or something. There was a gunshot. I never saw the shooter. This is accurate, by the way, out of character. I never actually saw Vivian shoot him. One of them got shot, and then they thought better of their lives, and they ran away.
And you didn't see the shooter?
No.
Interesting. Do you have any ideas as to, perhaps who could have initiated this event? Are you aware of some of the problems this district tends to have with gang violence?
I think they were propped up over by that car over there, or behind it, because that's where the gunshot came from.
I see. Okay. Any other details that you feel are pertinent to the investigation?
That's the long and short of it. They got into a tussle, something about payment, and one of them said they were going to shoot him, and then one of them got shot, and then they said, I think one of them yelled, "I'm not getting paid enough for this" or something, and then they ran.
Oh, I see. Before this event had occurred, you mentioned that you had helped this man Donald before.
Aye.
Under what, if you don't mind me asking, sir, under what circumstances did this happen?
Out of character, I'm just assuming that my character would have randomly happened upon Donald while he was having an overdose.
That was actually not what we discussed. You were on duty at the time when you saved him.
Okay, I will rescind that statement and say, yeah, I was on duty on one of my shifts and had to give him some pseudo-hematofol.
Shift? Are you a paramedic of sorts?
I was.
Oh, you were. Okay. Very well. Two more questions, sir. Have you noticed any other strange events happening around here? Disappearances, perhaps? Additional shootings or otherwise?
My character thinks about it. No, got a couple of the boys telling me that my character describes Lauren's areas like some of the, I think the Los Reyes hanging around that area are apparently like going around in force and picking up people.
One of the South American gangs, correct?
I think so.
Interesting. All right, thank you, sir. You've been most helpful. He kind of. All right. So your name. Is there a number we can contact you by if we need to ask you additional questions?
The character shrugs. Sure, but you want them a bit of a night owl, odd hours, you know.
It's not a problem at all, sir. We'll take that down and into consideration. Also, this is your primary residence, correct?
Such as it is.
All right. Well, sir, if we have any additional questions, we will be sure to give you a call or send some officers to speak with you at your earliest convenience. And otherwise, you have yourself a good evening.
You too. Is that
Thea,
that group of three still there? My character
they
looks
are
to
not.
the left.
They are not.
Okay.
Whatever also seemed to have been crushed up or otherwise destroyed under the malicious tires of Thea's Savage RV has also been sort of collected or salvaged, as it were. That being said, Thea, you have also risen and you heard most of this. You have your windows blackened, but one of them just so happened to be open slightly so that you can hear. Just in case something's happening outside, you know? You never know. And you do catch all of this.
Okay.
The officer that speaks with you, he says, right, and when you phone the department, you may ask for me. Here you go. He gives you his card. His name is Centel William. I will spell that for you here in chat. or Centel Williams, sorry. And his partner also comes forward and gives you a card as well. His partner's name is Gregory Fedor. And if you ever need to speak on the issue, they simply say that you can ask for either of them, and they will attend the call if at all possible.
Okay.
All right. He bids you a good night, and then he and his partner cross the street, step in their cruiser, and vacate the area, along with what few crime scene investigators were left. Slowly, of course, over time, picking up their belongings and whatnot. They leave behind the caution tape and the do not cross signs and all of those little things that are very effective at keeping curious bystanders away.
Yep.
And they leave the crime scene.
I'll make it a note to actually, like, look for the group of 3 that were huddled underneath the blanket for at least a solid 20 seconds.
Yeah, they're definitely not there anymore. The only thing that you notice outside of the fact that they are missing is that some of what was broken has apparently been salvaged. The backpack and likely whatever was in it, glassware, whatever little was there.
Well, I can imagine what the glassware's for, unfortunately.
Glass blowing, clearly.
Oh god, it's Irie's game all over again. Not the goblins! Not the goblins!
Just wait till you get to the zombie section.
No! That's actually a thing in this setting. Fuck you, stop!
Not amused.
They are easy to beat, but they have a lot of HP.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
That said, Thea, do you wish to show yourself, respond, or do anything? You basically rise just as the conversation is at its end, and you manage to hear kind of the tail end of the interview, as it were.
Is the popo still there?
No, they have cleared out by this time.
I'll wait until they are well gone, and then I will come out.
All right. You emerge from your quaint little camper and see Thomas there, having just conducted his interview with the police.
No. I knew that was going to be a problem. People poking around. Seemed to handle it well.
Didn't tell any lies, thankfully.
Oh, technically. That's true.
Your phone buzzes in your pocket, Tommy.
Hey, but I'm popular this week. Hello?
Hey, Tommy, it's Vincent.
Hey, Gore.
I won't be available this week if you need anything. My girlfriend's coming in from out of town, and it's been a while since I've spent some time with her, and she's been getting kind of particular about it. So if you need anything, hold off until the week after, unless it's an emergency. All right?
All right.
Thanks, man. How you been doing?
I've been doing all right. Been looking into what the hell's been happening in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough down here as well. Had a couple of those crip fucks try to break into my house. Shot one of them. Yeah, I had to deal with the cops last week. I'm in the clear, obviously, Second Amendment. They tried to break into my house, so, they decided their lives were worth less than my property, so you know how that has to go, right? That being said, yeah, it's getting worse out here. We had a shootout just a block over, and they're still investigating. It's getting pretty ugly. A couple people went missing as well. It's getting really bad here. If I could afford it, I would have moved out. Are you still living on 87th?
Hold on.
Pretty sure you're living on it.
My
You
character
should be.
lives on 83rd?
Is it 83rd?
Hold
East
on.
83rd Street?
East 83rd. Okay, yeah. He asked you if you're still living on East 83rd.
Hey,
He says, yeah, apparently it's been a bit more quiet over there lately. Only one shooting this week. That's pretty good.
I have that
86.
Vivian lives on 83rd.
Hold on. Fairly certain. Checking your merits here real quick. Vivian is on 83rd. And Tomas lives on 87th.
okay, I'll reevaluate my notes.
That's what I have written down on your Haven. So I believe that's where you were. Hopefully.
Locations are good for you, let's just go with that.
Sure. He basically tells you that things have been getting pretty rough on 83rd, and whatever is going on is starting to gather a lot of attention in his area. He also says, hey, Tommy, you mind if I ask your advice?
About what?
Do you have a lady in your life?
Unfortunately.
What do you think is something I could do? Since I haven't seen her in a while, what do you think she'd really appreciate? I'm not really good at this sort of stuff.
Something you know that she'd like that you don't do too often?
I mean, I do that for free. She talks a lot. A lot. But
My character motions his head even though he knows that Goyer can't see him. Aye, but something you don't do too often. Take her out.
we usually go out whenever I can see her. I mean, she's in university, right? So, I mean, I don't get to see her too often, but when I do, I usually take her somewhere nice. You know what? Yeah, maybe I try something else. You know what? I got it. I don't know why I haven't thought about this before. She's kind of weird. She's into like astrology and serial killers and haunting stuff. So I think, I think I'll take her out to some haunted, right? You can't see me, Tommy, but I'm doing the quotations thing. Some
Aye.
haunted place, whatever. Maybe she'll like that. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Fuck. I wish I could remember. There was something in particular that she was really into. She told me once it was a particular name. Damn. I'll figure it out myself, but thanks, Tommy. Any H.H. Holmes. That was it. Yeah, maybe I'll find something on that. Maybe give her a biography or a book or something. But hopefully get that out of the way. So you got a lady now, huh?
Sorta.
So standard guy question, is she hot?
Aye.
Like I'm asking you, Tommy, not a I think she's attractive thing, but like is she actually like, good to look at?
On the scale, she's an 8.5.
Hey. Right on, Tommy. Well, find out if she's a keeper and wife her. They're in short supply in Chicago.
Ugh,
Or just
you sound like my cousin, the Lutron.
or just move or just move to South
The both of you.
and he kind of trails off slightly, or if things get really rough, you just move to Southeast Asia and pick up one of those Oriental lasses. Could do that.
Ugh, got one of those too.
So it's a culture. It's a culture thing, but I hear they are very good to their men.
I
That
don't
means-
think he caught that you said I've got one of those too.
Wait, wait a minute, hold on. Did you say that?
That is what I said, yes.
Okay, pause. Time reversal. Okay. He goes, wait, you have two? Oh, God, Tommy, they didn't sucker you into that, what do they call it? The kids do this all the time. Paula something or other. Shit. It's just some weird shit that doesn't work, but they think it will.
What, the polyamory thing? No, she just hangs around, she eats my food.
Wait a minute. So she lives with you, she eats your food, you're not sleeping with her.
No, she doesn't live with me.
Tommy, you're not making this sound any better, buddy. Are you getting fleeced? Do you need my help? Does she have a gun? Nod.
She
If
has
she has a
several
gun.
guns.
I can't. Huh. I mean, I was...
We live in
You,
Chicago. You think those gun laws do anything? You just told me you shot a guy yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, listen. Okay. Even with the state this city is in, you and I both know most of the ladies I talk to don't really want anything to do with guns. Right?
Right?
My girl, but by the way, she's really nice. Her name is Charlie. She hates guns.
Mm-hmm.
She hates guns. She's into serial killers and all this other shit. Guns, though, that's where she draws the line. I know, make sense of it, right? So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. As for your second Asian not wife, Mooch, are you serious? Or are you just pulling my leg here, Tommy?
Oh, I'm pulling your leg. He's an acquaintance. She just hangs around recently. Trying to figure her out. Make sure she doesn't turn into the next Sandy Hook, Carol.
Listen, I've been listening to some folks, and they seem to think it's all set up. That it wasn't real. I'm just saying.
Sandy Hook?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was a conspiracy, that they're setting us all up. Yeah. Oh, well, you can hear... do you have heightened awareness? Because you're in your RV. You'll be able to hear Tommy without a roll.
I thought I was out of my RV.
You're inside your RV unless you're talking to me outside of the RV.
Yeah, you're inside your RV currently, but you can leave whenever you want.
Oh, I thought I walked...
Did you say you walked out?
Yeah, when the guys left.
Okay.
When the
So
cop left.
if you're on the outside, that doesn't really change the situation. You can hear the conversation, but if you want to hear Vincent's end of it more clearly, rather than just, the odd word, because I'm assuming Tommy doesn't keep his phone cranked. He's not deaf, right?
Mean, anytime somebody's on the phone, I'm a nosy bitch, and I'm listening. So I would have been attempting to hear.
Okay, sure. Give me a roll then, and if you get roll your wits and investigation, and
Wits and investigation. Okay.
Yeah. Give me a roll, and I will let you know how much of this you hear. Okay, yeah, that's good enough. You hear most of it, but there are a couple things that kind of slip your notice, or slip your attention, like the Sandy Hook conspiracy part you might miss, but you do hear the rest of it.
Names, places, okay.
Well, you hear that this fellow Vincent apparently has a girlfriend who is coming into town from university, who happens to be named Charlie, who has an obsession with serial killers, one in particular named H.H. Holmes, and who very clearly disapproves of guns to some degree.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar to you?
And it does. Tommy, are you facing my direction at all as you're talking to him, or is your back to me?
My back is probably to the RV.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. So Vincent continues. Yeah, I was watching. I was watching Alex Jones last night, and he was basically saying he thinks it's all a setup. Like, he thinks they're all playing us.
I mean, Alex Jones only needs 6 months to be proven right, but let's be real here. I don't think you can fake a shooting.
he turns up something you can tell on some sort of device on the other side, and you can hear just slightly. So let's talk about these Sandy Hook shootings. Listen, this might sound crazy, but it's definitely the lizard people. I've been thinking about it, and this is all a government conspiracy. And there's a high chance that the Jews are involved as well, but I don't really have any solid confirmation on it. But what I do know is that there is coercion with the FBI and the U.S. government, and they set up Sandy Hook. And what I'm saying, and it basically just goes on.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water because they turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?
Unironically, I fucking love Alex Jones. That dude's hilarious.
Same.
Literally next president of the U.S., please.
Oh my god.
That being said, yeah, Vincent seems to be fairly like taken with this theory because you've known him for a long time, Spoon. Vincent and you go back at least 3 or 4 years, and you know that he's very susceptible to all sorts of conspiracy theories. He's highly distrustful of government in general.
So he's
and well, he's definitely okay. In today's era, he would be considered normal, but in 2017ish, this was still kind of maybe there's a bit of doubt, you know. But most people would definitely consider him to be a conspiracy theorist of some kind, and he definitely believes in a lot of things. And you know that, and have had discussions about this one way or another, that he definitely thinks that there's something amiss with the world. He's definitely one of those Illuminati are pulling the strings kind of guys. That being said, though, he's not a bad person. He's just definitely susceptible to wild theories. And, well, it makes him very interesting to talk to, but depending on your personality, could also make him very dangerous to be around if he pisses off the wrong people.
Especially if you're a lizard person.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. What do you think of that, Tommy? I don't know. I've been looking into it a lot recently when I'm off work. I mean, it's been a lot. I mean, they've been sending in a lot of bodies to work lately. It's been Jesus, it's getting bad. But when I have some time off, I'm watching some documentaries, and I'm on InfoWars, and man, it's getting really, really rough.
And the consistency in the dumping sites.
Well, a lot of the folks they're bringing in that are dead are South American or Black, African, whatever. That seems to be a pattern. There's been gang wars in the streets for the last 2 years at least, like really bad.
Right. Anything along the lines of vagrants?
Yeah, but they always turn up in here one way or another. Someone's not shooting them, then they're overdosing on something. It's always pretty awful. But you know what I think? I think it's a conspiracy, Tommy. See, I think that this whole homeless ring thing, I think this is a business. Low key, I think our government wants them there. How else are they going to get all those tax dollars to put in the pockets of their friends, you know? Yeah. Another $1 billion boondoggle spending bill, and then, you know, we just slip most of those billions into the pockets of ourselves and our friends and just say, it's a write-off for feeding the homeless. I'm telling you, Tommy, I've been looking into it. It's getting more and more crooked.
Wait till you get to the section on the jailing crisis.
Tommy, you realize that if you continue talking with Vincent, you're going to go down this rabbit hole with him, and he won't stop talking.
I know.
Okay. Thea, you can hear most of this. So just keep that in mind.
I didn't get 4 tons of intelligence by not talking to people.
That being said, Vincent then goes, "Hey Tommy, look, I gotta go to sleep. I got a long day tomorrow. I just got off, and they already want me to work a double shift. But when the girl comes into town, I want to put all this stuff out of my head and just try to do right by her while I got some time. Her birthday's coming up in a couple months, and I still need to figure out if we can do anything there. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Tommy. She's She's got some really weird ideas coming out of that school.
Really?
I don't know what's getting into her lately, but she's changing or something. She's the girl I met didn't really talk the way she's talking now. She's got all these weird ideas about the system, but not really like what I'm thinking. Like something definitely out of left field. And I'll talk to you another time, Tommy.
All right.
You take it easy, and wish your lady the best. I know she doesn't know me, but any lady friend of yours is a platonic lady friend of mine.
My character leans over, looks at Thea. My friend wishes you the best.
I am not smiling at you right now.
My character
I
smiles.
look like I have flames in my eyes at the moment.
What? Why?
He goes, oh yeah, Tommy, I gotta go. I gotta plan some stuff, but it's good talking to you, man. Again, busy this week, yeah? So unless it's an emergency, keep me out of it, yeah?
Will do.
Yeah, take it easy, man. Beep. We will now call for an intermission in this session for an important announcement. The lizard people! They're coming for us! Yeah. We can continue.
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
Oh my god.
Tommy, who was that?
Friend of mine.
Who?
Friend of mine.
Mm-hmm. How do you know this friend? Who is
Met
he?
him like 40 years ago. He's a mortician.
A mortician?
Right?
A mortician.
Yeah.
I want to meet him
Why?
because I said I did.
Okay, well, maybe in a week's time, maybe that'd be a good idea.
And
Wake up on the wrong side of the RV.
Tommy, I need you to understand something right now. It has taken every bit of my self-control to not snatch that phone from your hand and get his information. Because I heard what he said.
About
Charlie. And that's my
Ooh.
Charlie. And I swear to God, Tommy, if it is my Charlie, like I think it's my Charlie, and this man is anything but the prime member of the male species, I'm gonna kill him. Do you
why
understand
is this
me?
your first go-to for everything? Aren't you from the South?
Excuse me?
You want to kill the gang members? You want to kill my friends? You apparently want to kill James? Like, you want to talk about it?
I didn't want to kill him. Are you kidding me? They freaking gang members show up outside your house. I'm minding my own business inside. You decide to go out there with a gun, start shooting everything, and I'm just minding my own business.
Which
This,
was
on the other hand, is totally different. This is my Charlie. It has to be my Charlie.
Why?
The woman he is seeing, Charlie, that's my blood. It has to be.
Like in the metaphorical sense, or my character looks back and forth to the kindred sense?
As in the familia sense. The whole reason I'm here in this godforsaken city is because of her.
My character holds up a finger. Wait, she's your sire?
No. Charlie is my cousin.
Okay.
Your friend is dating my cousin.
It is at this point that, Vivian, you begin to appear, as it were, on the scene, having been unaccosted on your way here, likely due to the fact that... actually, give me a dexterity streetwise check. See if you can use your knowledge and your ability to sneak around your neighborhood to get here relatively quickly and with minimal hazardous interactions. What do you get? Yeah. Okay. You do manage to sneak over here and not attract any undue attention on the way. Continue. Sorry. You are starting to come into sight, and you can see that since the garage door, I'm assuming, is still open, Spoon?
Yeah.
Yep. So you can see Thea and Tommy having a discussion, and judging by Thea's face, she, at the very least, is taking it very seriously. Tommy seems confused. That is all I can give you at the moment.
I can't hear them from where I'm at, though, right?
No. You're still kind of approaching the house.
Well, if they look at me before I get within earshot, I'm just gonna like have a big smile on my face and wave like I'm Forrest Gump or some shit, and kind of like walk a little faster over.
I remember that scene. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies. All right. Continue, guys. Sorry.
Charlie is my cousin.
Okay.
She's one of the few people on this planet that I give a damn about.
Okay.
And to hear that she's with some man, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
You're making a lot of assumptions that this is the same person.
It has to be. You don't understand. Me and Charlie go way back. Me and her are thick as thieves.
So you know she fetishizes serial killers.
We are both a little bit into true crime. We had this whole theory coming out here to Chicago that we were going to learn all about H.H. Holmes and all about the history of H.H. Holmes. He's a big serial killer. It doesn't matter. Everything he said, that's my Charlie. How many Charlies are there anyways?
Probably several 100,000.
You're not listening. That's my Charlie. I know it. I can feel it in my bones.
And I can feel you not answering my question when I've answered every one of your questions. But let's forget about that.
Question? What question? What question you got for me? What's your problem? What's your question?
About you fetishizing serial killers, but we can ignore that. Hello, Vivian.
True crime is a perfectly acceptable hobby. You ever watch Netflix?
I watched Dexter.
Well, there you go.
A familiar voice suddenly perks up in the middle of the conversation. You guys just can't stay out of trouble, can you? Oh.
Hey, Peter.
Thomas? The lovely Thea? Rat?
Yeah.
Hi.
She's been downgraded from mouse now.
We're in talks. Foreign affairs, diplomacy, that kind of thing. We're working on it. So, anything interesting?
My character pulls out the King Motors card. I found this near one of the recent kidnappees.
Mind if I have a look?
Oh.
He extends one of his frighteningly long claws toward you, turning his hand over and then pinching the card between two very sharp, gnarly-looking claws. And then he brings it to his face, his horribly distended jaw and sloped head kind of shining ever so slightly in the brief and slight light of the garage. He tilts the card over. It's one of those Mexican fronts, or Mexican gang fronts, rather. Yeah, of course, how original. Some sort of chop shop. He hands it back to you. Find out anything else?
The character leans back and thinks about it for a second. Except for some more specifics about, like, peace donation, not really.
I see. It's a rather interesting gang. Very niche in today's day and age. Very Black Panthers-esque. But yeah, they're still around. We heard rumblings that perhaps they were making moves on 83rd, 87th, and other territories run by the Chicago Crips and the Los Reyes. They seem to be acting independently. You would think the black gangs would get along with one another for this one instance of wiping out their South American rivals, but I guess not. Well,
nobody likes competition.
Well, as kindred, you know that we too are very similar. We don't like competition either, and it leads to problems. But you'll have to forgive me. You looked much happier last time I saw you. Is there a problem?
No, I'm just peachy. I'm just peachy. And I smile through gritted teeth.
Give me, Thea, give me a... Give me a wits and an insight check.
It's an insight.
You think that he has a certain, I don't know, glint in his eye, like maybe he knows something, but maybe just in your heightened state of emotions, you're jumping to conclusions. Peter shrugs. Well, whatever's happening in your life, I hope it gets resolved, if there's anything happening.
Oh, no. No, I'm just peachy. Just a wonderful morning.
Good to hear. What about you, Rat? Anything interesting happening with you?
Nope, I'm great.
I know. That's why I'm asking. You're usually so gloomy and quiet. You're all chipper and got a certain pep in your step.
Yep, everything is great. No need to be upset now. Before I was just on edge, we talked. You understand.
Well, you know what? I'm a big proponent of self-improvement. I'm glad you're going in a better direction in life. I'm rooting for you, personally. Peter then turns to Tommy. We've got a bit of a problem. That shooting that occurred around here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so... supposedly... the guy that was shot was the second or third cousin thrice removed from a guy that's pretty far up in the South American cartel chain, as it were. And he's not too happy that one of his family members has been unceremoniously disposed of.
Well, you don't mess with cousins.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, to put it bluntly, he's not particularly happy, and he's been asking around a lot of questions. So, I'll give you the good news. He doesn't know who did it. But he knows what area it occurred in. Of course, you realize that this kind of puts all of us in a bit of a strange situation, since gang members don't exactly tend to be the most subtle when they go looking for information. And more importantly, this area is not exactly heavily policed. And thirdly, if a bunch of South American gang members just turn up missing one night with no trace, that's just going to make all this worse. You understand why we're in a bit of a pickle here, don't you?
Right?
Say, you wouldn't happen to know why this happened, do you? Is this in any way related to our little assignment?
Possibly.
Tommy, I'm speaking plainly, so let's not do this whole rigmarole of possibly, maybe, sort of, I know a guy. Do you know anything that's going on here? Again, I'm helping you on behalf of Miss Miller because I owe her one. You know, if you don't tell me something important and then you guys get in trouble, it's out of my hands at that point. Just saying.
Right. And my source isn't exactly particularly reliable. When the shooting occurred, they were all jonesing about cash and wanting to shoot one of the local bums named Donald, and when I questioned Donald after the shooting, he said that they were trying to take him somewhere. So either they were lying, or they were trying to cover up that they were trying to take him somewhere, or he was jonesing for another fix. I really couldn't guarantee it.
Peter's eyes kind of scan the group in general. Miss Thea? Are you still wearing the clothes from the other night?
No, I am not.
How unfortunate. Okay. Wow. Do you happen to know anything, Miss Thea? He attempts a sly smile, but unfortunately his monstrous features betray him, and it's not exactly comely. Most of his expressions are terrifying, one way or another. He tends to straddle the line between horrific, bloodthirsty monster and sly rapist, no matter what expression he makes, which is unfortunate because he's well-spoken.
No, unfortunately, I'm somewhat new around here, so I don't have anything additional to add to Mr. Tommy's already provided information.
No, that's unfortunate. I was hoping that since Thomas's Haven is right across the street, that, maybe one of you saw something. Oh well. Well, if you just so happen to be tangentially involved, know that there is a very pissed off, angry cartel member that is looking for whoever shot his mum's uncle's brother's cousin twice removed, or something like that.
I mean, if you're looking for who shot them, I could tell you.
Peter squints in your direction. He squints real good. Sure.
My character gives Vivian a pat on the shoulder.
I smile big. A big, grinny, toothy smile.
Peter kind of jerks a crooked, clawed thumb in Vivian's direction. Rat shot him.
Ratted him right out of existence.
I suppose if I asked why, she'd tell me the truth and not give me some bullshit Malkavian babble as to why she's drawn extra attention to this area for no particular reason.
Tommy shot at him first. There was no choice.
Suddenly, everybody's got more information. Well, all right. Is that true, Tommy?
Right?
Listen, I've got no real personal stake in this, but if I know Ms. Miller well, she's not really keen on this whole jump to violence first type of thing. Maybe keep it under wraps for the sake of not only yourself, but your coterie.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't make it better. I told them to fuck off, and then they drew guns. My character shrugs.
He was well within the laws. Humans.
Bangers don't tend to keep the laws.
Did they start shooting at you?
They were threatening too, and I wasn't about to give them the first shot.
Did you back off or leave at all?
I fired at them, not to kill them.
So you fired first.
Right?
I'm not going to get into I'm not going to get into semantics. Listen, we're not exactly alive. As long as they're not levying anything particularly nasty your way, you could take an odd shot. It's not going to take you long to knit it up. But this is putting more heat on an area that's already pretty damn stressed. So just, keep it under wraps. But like I said, I'm just an informant. If you fuck up and get yourselves sent to the final death by some pissed off anarch or some Camarilla scumbag, I tried to help you. That's all I'm saying.
Getting shot doesn't hurt as bad as you would think, Tommy.
Peter kind of turns very slightly over toward Thea. He smiles and then asks, you mind if I ask you something, Miss Thea?
Well, seeing as how I don't think I'm going to be able to stop you.
Probably not. Who's Charlie?
Know how that's any of your concern?
You don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. I was just thinking that perhaps, given that I belong to a clan of information brokers, that perhaps there is information that you would be interested in. But if you're not interested in doing business, I completely understand. He smiles, a toothy, kind of smart alecky sort of smile.
While I appreciate the offer, I'm not currently in the market for people doing digging.
He shrugs. Not that we need your permission. We dig no matter what. I'm just offering you whatever we might have. But hey, I respect your decision. If you change your mind, Thomas knows how to contact me. Give me an insight and a wits check, Thea.
Nope.
Yeah, maybe he's... Oh, that is a dramatic failure. Do you wish to use willpower to re-roll that?
What happens if I don't?
Well, I've got bad news for you. You cannot re-roll your hunger die, so that will be a 1. You can re-roll 2 of your dice. If you choose to take the dramatic failure, you get the worst possible result for this scenario. And if there are any consequences, depending on the severity, they could likely hit harder than you'd think.
Okay, yeah, I have 3 freaking 1s. So I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yeah, you can re-roll 2, because the hunger die cannot be re-rolled.
Okay.
So. Much better. Well, it's not great, but it's something. Not high enough for all of it, but you can't help but shake the feeling that he's trying to be helpful and issue a friendly warning.
Friendly warning?
Yes.
A warning?
I want to lean over for just a moment and be like, and just like, kind of whisper, but not whisper, because he's going to hear anyway. Still with a smile on my face, be like, if he's asking who she is, he probably already knows.
You see Peter kind of fold his claws on either hand between his fingers, and he kind of balls his fists together and puts them under his chin as he takes his seat on Tommy's couch, and he just kind of looks at your coterie. He has a certain unsettling, predatory gaze that fits his monstrous expression much more than his sort of relaxed, nice guy demeanor might suggest.
All right, Peter, fucking out with it.
Oh, no, we don't give information for free. We trade. That's what we do here on this side. You see, I don't think... He kind of motions to a couple places. Does anybody wish to have a seat?
Plop down.
Okay. I realize that each and every single one of you are fresh off the boat, as it were, into this life. Okay? So I'm going to make you aware of several things. The first is that we are not enemies. The second is that, like the mortal life, politics does exist. But unlike the mortal life, unless you are one of the very few exceptions, you will play, whether you like it or not. Chances are that there will be things and people in your life from your past life that you wish to keep safe, or out of this sphere of influence as much as humanly possible, or inhumanly possible in our case. There are a lot of people in this city who, regardless of your relative influence or power, love to have power over other kindred. Favors are what we really covet. For a reason, of course. It's for our own survival. Now, because you're unaware, my clan especially deals heavily in what you may consider to be espionage. We look into things. We gather information about lots of things, about lots of people, lots of places. There's a lot that we could teach people. Of course, never for free, and always for an exchange. So, I will not part with the information I have freely, but I am willing to do so for a price. And what I do know is that, shy of some information, my clan likely knows quite a bit about all of you. And yes, that includes the people that are important to you. That being said, this is in no way, this is not an aggressive threat, because I will assure you, if it was, none of you would be alive here to speak with me. But this is a friendly warning. There will be people out there who will be less charitable and forthcoming with this information, so I would recommend that you approach this life with more caution. Because if you do not, you will find not only what few people you have left that are important to you slipping away, but you know that little voice in your head that always kind of perks up at the most inopportune moments? You'll find that it goes from being an annoyance to a more commanding and domineering presence in your life. And I don't think any of you want that. Now, if you have any questions, you may ask. Again, normally I wouldn't say anything, but as I owe Miss Miller a favor, and I am a gentleman of my word, I am compelled to follow through as competently and honestly as I can. Any questions, kids?
Any
What do you know about
recommendations?
Charlie?
One at a time.
Make
Thea?
promotions to Thea.
What do you know about Charlie?
Literally everything. She's not particularly interesting. And neither were you before you passed. We know where she lives, we know where she attends, we know her hobbies, we know some of her strange new friends that she's picked up in university. We know the man she dates, we know all about him. There's a lot of things we know. That last one, he kind of gives you a close look. That's what you're asking about, isn't it?
Well, at this point, I'm kind of concerned as well that one of y'all might have said something to her, and I don't want her involved in this life.
Oh, don't worry. We have no interest in bringing her into this life at all, unless absolutely necessary for some reason. She doesn't have anything that you would consider useful for this particular dangerous and perilous path. Do you?
No.
Right. She's a young girl with no skills, bright-eyed and hopeful for the future. That's not really a skill set, so we can't use her at all. So she's safe. At least, well, from me and assuming most of the people I know. Unless she has a habit of making enemies, then, well, who knows? Oh, come on, Thea. Don't be concerned. I'm not your enemy. You got that look on your face. It's just so...
I don't know that. I don't know you.
Yeah.
We met yesterday.
True. What you do know is that I'm helping you, and what you do know is that I've been forthcoming, and what you do know is that I've been kind, at least insofar as you can determine. And what I can assure you is that if you were my enemy, I already know how I would get to you, and it wouldn't be very difficult. But we're not enemies, and I don't see why we should become enemies. Doesn't seem to make much sense to me. I'm not in the habit of making new enemies for free. I've got enough on my plate. The sign-up sheet is full, Ms. Thea. You're going to have to get in line if that's your ambition for some reason. I know. Don't worry, sweetheart. We'll have our time. It's just not now. Thomas? Anything?
Any recommendations on how we can investigate this front without getting perfiled with bullets?
Yeah, that's difficult. Are any of you particularly skilled at chicanery, sneaking, information gathering, that kind of stuff?
I'll raise
Lock.
my hand.
Rat.
Giant smile on my face still.
That makes sense. Is there a way that you could do it without drawing attention once you are seen? That is the real question. You understand? He gives you a toothy grin. The second part is more difficult for someone that looks like me, but difficult for you for different reasons.
Let me double check. I understand. He's asking if I can manage to handle the situation in the event that I am seen after breaking in.
His question generally is, LOL, can you be stealth retard? to summarize it heavily.
Gotcha.
Can you do things quietly, and are you a secret agent, basically?
Yes.
Okay. I would recommend that the three of you begin working on this task with a bit more expediency. Again, being kindred, we have all the time in the world, but time still does not slow down for us, and mortals move quite quickly, especially ambitious mortals whose time is limited. Whatever is going on here is sure to get worse before it gets better unless your intervention becomes a bit more heavy-handed. Now, to be fair, that doesn't mean you can never resort to more violent or brutal methods. It's just preferably after all other alternatives are exhausted. You may have to do things that grate on you in certain ways, such as perhaps letting somebody who is undeserving pass from this world. Or in some cases, it could be someone close to you should things truly turn awry. The cost, of course, to not doing this is immense. Not just for you personally, but for all of us, should the rules, at least the basic rule of the Masquerade, not be abided by. Again, we're not linked to the CAM officially, so the other rules, traditions as they were, fuck them. But that one is important. We don't want people finding out about us, at least any more than already know. We would like to very much remain in the domain of, and he tries his best to do an impression, the lizard people, as it were. Are we clear?
Aye.
You lot are so gloomy all the time. How do you do this? Is any of you upbeat, positive, smiley?
I
You
look
know,
at
I
him
was
with my giant
late.
smile again.
Well, I think Rat is probably just in one of her moods. But the rest of you, surely... And
I was in a great mood a minute ago.
I don't understand why that would have changed. Unless he holds a horribly disfigured clawed hand up to his chest. Surely I didn't sour your mood by asking a question.
Oh no, honey, it ain't you.
Good. Well, listen, Miss Thea. Should you change your mind, as I said, Thomas knows how to contact me. However, should you wish to do business independently, I could give you my number.
I'm gonna hand him my phone.
He gives you a nod, and he takes your phone and puts a number in very quickly, flips the phone, and hands it to you. He has a rather humorous little avatar. It's a little it's a little husky puppy in a suit and tie, smirking.
What?
Now then,
A husky puppy in a suit and tie, smiling.
yeah, that's his avatar on his phone.
Okay.
It just says Peter.
Got it.
He looks at Vivian and then goes, right. Can we have a discussion? You and I, Rat.
Sure.
You really are in a good mood. Here I was thinking there was some animosity, but shucks if I didn't know you'd come round. Come, let's go have a discussion.
All right. And I hop off the couch.
Sin?
Yes.
Spoon a lot?
Yeah, bye.
Fuck you both. I'm taking Game Jumper into a brief private mode.
Cool.
I'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye.
Between Vincent and fucking Thomas, and Thea's just sitting there stewing, like, just mattered in the hornet, just...
Oh yeah, Grant.
That being said, eventually Peter and Vivian return, and Peter looks to the group after he kind of edges his way past the cramped RV. God, you really need to get this place in better shape or find a new place, Thomas. This space arrangement you have right now, it's a bit of a tight one.
I'm working on it.
Oh, a recommendation before I kind of head on my merry way. Once we kind of, or assuming if, but hopefully, once you establish yourself a bit more in Chicago, if you wish to ingratiate yourselves before more important kindred, you're definitely going to have places where you can offer them hospitality and appropriate refreshments as a habit. Not all of them are as relaxed as Nosferatu are. So, do keep that in mind when you meet more uppity kindred of distinguished tastes. That being said, if none of you have any more questions, I will be on my way.
Out of
Anyone?
morbid curiosity, what would refreshments entail?
To put it lightly, whatever their drink of choice happens to be. Or at the very least, just people. How you do this is up to you, and whether or not they're willing, I'd rather not know. But what I do know is that our kind require refreshments, and it is a custom to provide them. How you go about doing such, well, that depends on you.
Right.
And
Well,
I,
thanks for the heads up, Peter.
that will also apply to you. He looks at Thea, and then he looks to Vivian, and you, if you wish to host kindred of more distinguished standing.
I'm gonna
Keep
look
it in
at him and cock my head and be like, do you really think anybody of distinguished standing is gonna want to be around me?
It's not that they'll want to be around you. It's if you value your long-term survival, you'll want to be around them.
Well, nobody I brought back into my camper has given me any complaints.
Likely because they realize that given your position, it's what you have. But the more they've climbed our little hierarchy, the more difficult things will become. Listen, you might not think it means much, but displays of wealth and status, no matter how ostentatious and superficial they may seem to you, are still important to most of our kind. It's an appearances thing. It's an effort thing. It's a discipline thing. You don't have to do any of it, but just bear in mind that there could be consequences when dealing with certain kindred. Now, for me, I don't give a shit if you live in a box so long as you're useful, but that's definitely not the norm. Certain people will have different standards. And you're a beautiful number, Thea, but even you can only get away with so much on looks alone. Because
thanks.
I don't know if you realize this, but there are many of us that are very beautiful. Don't take me as the standard.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, that's all right. I know I'm an 8.5, and I'm gonna shoot a look over to Tommy.
What?
Peter kind of chuckles a bit, and he goes, "Yeah, I've never known a single woman to receive her number and be happy about it. It always becomes a philosophical debate. That's fine. If it makes you feel any better, Miss Thea, I doubt my number is anywhere close to yours." He gives you a smile.
Oh, sugar. You're off the charts.
In a bondage club, maybe.
I didn't say which way.
Maybe you'll find out one day. But he checks his watch. Gotta go. Pleasure, as always. You kids take care of yourselves now.
You
I
too,
will
Peter.
see myself out. You don't mind if I have a snack on the way out, do you, Thomas?
I won't object.
Thank you. Good evening. All right. The group is now by itself. What do you guys choose to do?
Well, we could either
Well, that
have
was
another
fun.
3-hour-long philosophical debate about what 8.5 means, or, and I know this is like lower on the priority standing, we could decide how we're going to tackle this one lead we have.
I say figuring out the lead is probably the best option.
I do also want to send a text to Charlie. But I can do that.
Send me a text in private messages,
Okay.
and I will either make a note of it or respond.
Okay. But
If I could hack you, Sin, and pay for a Discord account for you, I would lock your image as that Alex Jones tongue wag forever. I just want you to know that.
lock my image.
I would lock your Discord profile picture as
Oh,
that
hell
Alex
to the
Jones
no.
fucking tongue wagging.
Hell to the no. It's just, you know, like how things just like make your skin crawl. That image, that does that. And
That is literally
not in a good way.
That is the only thing in that garage that is more attractive than Thea. Fuck you. Absolutely object.
No.
You're allowed to.
Take just a moment to go to the bathroom real quick.
Sure.
How dare you go to the bathroom on my time? Now I'm just gonna
Mr.
go
coffee
get.
3 times.
I'm gonna go get coffee. Fuck you.
It's not
4
like
times.
we've been filled with coffee and soda and sweet tea and God knows what else.
Sadness and just yep, good times. Thea being a frickin' crabby gal. Wow. All your
What?
characters. Thea being a crabby patty.
Being crabby.
No, not you. The character.
Yeah. She's not crabby. She is just.
Go ahead.
She's, passionate.
She
No
is
shit.
displaying the appropriate reaction to the truth.
Ah, yes. Yes, verbal judo. Good.
She has a
Good.
short fuse.
It's,
And a long camper.
yeah. It's one of the things I've learned in life outside of gaming is that when it comes to relationships, you would be very surprised the kind of people that are attracted to one another. Some personality types you'd imagine, yeah, that would never work. And then they get together and you go, what the fuck? How?
Who's
And let me
smoking the pants in this relationship?
And let me tell you, I never walk away with answers. Only more questions. But what I do know is that somehow it works. Sorcery.
Yeah.
They say that opposites attract. Personally, I think that's bullshit. I think there's a grain of truth in that, but yeah. Anyway, while Star basically pees for an hour, I'm gonna get coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
On radio, I'm just okay. Well, there was a lot that's been thrown on the Coteries plate. A couple more things are falling into place. Bit of a slower sesh. We're probably going to start wrapping it up. But, yeah. Hopefully that went well-ish. The seeds are set for something else. The next session, we will reap
Don't
the
talk about seeds
reward
near
with
Thea.
that.
What?
Yeah, we'll ixnay on the spilled seeds near Sin.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, more of a setup session, but that's generally where we'll call it for now. Yeah, how'd you guys think that went?
Pretty good.
It was good.
Does anybody
I liked
have any anything that they liked or disliked particularly?
I really like the RP.
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
I have 0 complaints. Every
Same.
single session that we've had, I haven't had a complaint yet. But I also didn't want to say no, I don't have anything special to say about good either.
No, that's fair. If it's more of the same and more of the same is good, then I'm not really gonna fuss about that. Yeah, I always try to like throw you guys the odd curveball in characters. People that you think about and you're like, yeah, that person probably could exist. And it's usually the kind of personality you'd think would be relegated to like TV or like a show, but those people exist. I've met some weird people in my life that I'm like, I thought this was just a cartoon character. This is real. Holy shit. What I've tried to do is link a lot of your characters together some way. I mean, because obviously the best way to get you all invested in each other's shit is when the stakes are for all of you and not just, oh, well, Thea's doing her thing and it's separate from Tommy's thing and it's separate from Vivian's thing. And sometimes that'll happen. But for like the grander narrative, that's not really a good way to tie you guys together. It just incentivizes you guys to be like, fuck them, cut them loose or whatever, right? But when everybody knows things and certain people are connected to others and certain relationships are this, that, and the other, that shit starts to get really complicated. Because decisions get difficult to make when there could be sudden and violent fallout. At least in my experience in games, those are the best games I've ever had when any decision I make could adversely affect multiple party members because they're connected through X character who's connected through X character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing I think you can do is like have too many independent stories going at the same time, because then you guys just get disconnected from each other, and it's like I'd be running multiple solo games where like Sin will do her own things and it doesn't really touch any of Star's stuff, and then Star does her own thing. It doesn't touch any of Thomas's stuff, so none of you guys really have any incentive to work together, right? And I'm not against like solo story type stuff happening in party games, but it's like at the end of the day, we all get together to play in a party for a reason. It's not to have a solo session each person, you know. That's the way I look at it. And so I mean, if you guys wanted a solo session where I just jerk you off for like 3 hours, I'm sure you'd ask. You wouldn't ask to get into like a team based game if you wanted a solo. It'd just be weird. But Yeah, we're definitely setting up more. You guys are starting to progress through the content, although there's still a lot. And I mean, honestly, even if you didn't follow the path like you have, and there's been some detours, honestly, I could ad-lib a lot of stuff. Most of this is just a rough outline, and a lot of the characters you guys tend to meet. Yeah, there's always some interesting stuff. And, you know, the whole wheeling and dealing, you know, taking somebody aside for 5-10 minutes to do like a very quick solo RP away from everybody else is one of those things I like to do. Because
There's
even
a compliment I can give. I really like that because it gives a lot of like secrecy to the rest of us.
I mean, even if it wasn't a vampire game, I like the idea that
People can't
I mean,
just metagame
obviously,
for no reason.
well, listen, I don't want to accuse people of metagaming, but there's a difference in how you'll approach the game if you try not to metagame, but you still kind of know in the back of your mind what's going on, versus you actually don't know. And now you might make different choices because, like, for example, when Peter took Vivian off, and without telling me anything, is anybody suspicious? Like, even slightly?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Thomas is not suspicious, but he's just incurious, generally speaking, about anything that isn't the main goal, as far as I'm aware. And Thea's definitely edging into that suspicious territory. Like, for example, Vivian is Vivian kind of suspicious that Thea was kind of back alone for 5 or 10 minutes in the house before the dinner had officially like completely concluded?
I will be honest with you. Technically, because of the disassociation that she was in, she probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Damn, lucky. Because if she had, I bet you money the answer would have been probably.
Oh yeah, if she had noticed, then she definitely would have been like, "Why is she in there with my man still?" or kind of thing.
Yep. Like it does tend to change the decisions you guys will make because you don't know what's happening. And if something really shitty happens because all along somebody was messing with some stuff on the side, even if they weren't planning against you directly, and then something happens, you're like, fuck, well, I knew that they were off doing some stuff, I just didn't look into it, so you can't really blame anybody, right?
Now I'll be honest with you as far as out of character, I am really curious as to why she was fucking in there talking to him and what she said.
They had the fastest, fattest threesome you've ever seen in your life.
That's what it
Wouldn't
was.
surprise me.
That's what it was. That chick of his was freaking hot, you know?
Yeah.
When
He
the thing
really
that you
into
get off on
Christians.
sways the other way.
Yeah, Christine, definitely one of those, I ain't gay, but I would fuck Christine type of people. Like, I ain't gay, but...
Maybe just this once.
Yeah, just this once. Yeah, this was definitely more of a setup session, but you guys are probably starting to see things could get pretty spicy pretty quickly if you've been paying attention. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I mean, the fact that Peter returned and was basically like, okay, you guys obviously don't know what's going on. I'm going to make this as clear as possible. You will play politics. Or not. And see what happens.
I have no politics.
Yeah, everybody always tries to do the whole, like...
my Haven and fucking going like, hey, Tom, you need to get a better Haven. It's like I was basically born yesterday. Shut the fuck up and fuck off.
Well, I mean... Since everything's being hosted at your Haven, I mean, it only makes sense that he says, hey, man, like, you don't have to do this, I don't give a shit, but if you want to entertain people that are fucking important, figure it out, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, alright, we have 3 Havens. Mysterious Girl Haven, we have Camper Haven, and we have
Mysterious
Meeting
Girl
Haven.
Haven.
You have like...
Like, I don't even know where your character sleeps.
We
You
have
both
a
of you know
mansion
where I
between
sleep.
the 3 of us.
You have like 2 roughly middle class-ish home-ish areas that aren't like fully kind of owned on the books, that are sort of in shitty areas, so people like the bureaucracy of the city doesn't really pay attention to it, but like is technically owned by you, but not really, but nobody looks into it. And then you've got like the adventures of fucking the Magic School Bus, also known as Thea's serial killer rapist fucking camper. With
Serial
blacked out
killer rapist camper.
You have
Yes, you got candy in the back, don't you know?
Windows. You have blacked out windows in a camper.
Thea doesn't
Bruh.
need candy in her camper. She is the candy in her camper, okay?
Thea, we need to cook.
I mean, you'd probably start making some serious money in the area you're in, but I mean, do you really need more? Listen, okay, if this was a video game, what color would this area grow on? What color would this area be on the heat map? Close to red. Close to, okay, now police are starting to pay attention because things have gotten so shit they can't ignore this anymore. Like, that's how bad it's gotten. It's not there yet, but, like, we're definitely approaching code red because there's lots of bullshit going on. Because remember, while you guys are doing your own thing, which has been awesome, the story moves forward and things keep happening. So, yeah, that's the thing. The most difficult thing you guys are going to have to do is, depending on, of course, how your characters wish to act, is partition your time between, and I don't really have a better way to describe this, your side quests and the main objective. You have to do none of those things. You can do whatever you want in the game. But some opportunities could be missed. Some bad things could happen. Some good things could happen. What I do know, though, is that depending on where you want to take your character's stories, the less you participate in kind of the rigmarole of vampire politics, the less of a chance you have to really start getting into big throbbing PP zones where you get to deal with different types of problems. Because, being Kindred is all about moving from one fuck up to the next and having to fix it. That's just how it is. On the plus side, you got magic powers. I mean, that's neat. Yeah. Also, Sin.
Yes.
I'm glad you like my Alex Jones impression.
Yes, the impression. The gift, not so much.
I love
the
that. The
impression was dead fucking on. Like, honestly, for a second there, I had to I really had to listen, and I thought it might have been this Rune soundbar. It was on.
I sometimes practice random voices because voice acting is really cool to me. I'm not very good at it, but I try. I'm very
tired
off.
of them putting chemicals in the water that turn the Los Reyes gay.
Dude, oh my god. I always wanted to have a conspiracy theorist character in one of my games. Because they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're just fun. So.
You just miss Hoffman.
Well, I mean, somebody to just kind of throw like okay, here's the thing, right? Especially because of the setting we're in, we would call Vincent a conspiracy theorist in our day and age. Of course, things are getting so weird now that who even knows anymore. But in this particular setting in 2017, with vampires and all this other weird shit going on, can we really even honestly say conspiracy theorist? Like, for all you know, he's right, and it's just lizard people.
These days, the conspiracy theory and the truth are separated by 6 months.
Yeah, like, who even fucking, like, if he says, it's all a vampire cabal at the very top, like, who knows, man? Who actually knows? And what's funny is that he'd be right in this setting.
Technically, it is a conspiracy theory. It's just not an inaccurate one.
Yes, it would be right if somehow they could investigate, but everybody in this call knows that whenever somebody comes up with some weird conspiracy shit, usually most people dismiss it immediately. It's like a reflex.
Oh, of course.
And then
somebody comes up.
Good.
No, I was just saying, somebody comes up to you talking about the lizard people. You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, grandma, yeah, yeah. The radio is talking to you. All right, yeah. Back in the home. Okay, yeah, bye.
The radio is talking to you. CIA agent Granny Sin.
No.
And then fucking Peter comes up to us like 18 sessions later, and then he like in a fucking huff is like, "You won't believe this, Alex Jones. He has True Faith 5." And we're sitting there going like, "Hold on, let me turn him up."
I refuse to go along with this, and I'm seeing through all of your lies.
This is
Barack
True
Obama,
Faith?
You wicked
Yeah.
devil!
Wait, no, he's powering up. Yeah, he is True Faith.
Dude, I don't care how anybody feels about that man. He is fucking entertaining as shit.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
like, he has nailed. Like, I would have a beer with that man. I don't think I could ever stop listening to him talk because that shit is so entertaining. Like he's that friend where like he's on some shit, but like he's always been decent to you, and every time you get together and talk about shit, he's got wild ideas. Like he just goes on, and you're just sitting there like, holy fuck, what? Like, this is crazy, but continue. Like, I don't know. Do you guys have any friends like that? I had like one friend like that a couple of years ago before he moved away, where he just like we would sit down and talk, he would just have wild like just questions and ideas about shit, and it was just entertaining to talk to that person.
I think the wildest question I've ever gotten from one of my friends was asking me, if you milked a pig, would the milk taste like bacon? And if so, is there a market for farming pig milk?
Second question, yes. First question, no.
You don't think so?
I don't think it tastes like bacon. Probably tastes like some variant of milk. Like, milk doesn't really tend to vary too much, except by like fat content and richness. There's some like I guess there's
texture.
Yeah. Like, if I gave you milk from a European country and milk from any North American country, I bet you'd say one of these is very different.
Sure. I mean, obviously, it's not going to actually taste like bacon. But let's say that it did.
Okay.
I think there would be a huge market for bacon-flavored milk.
I think that would actually put people off.
Here's the thing. The only
People like
reason...
bacon, flavored everything.
Here's the thing. That's only a thing really in like the North Americas. And the reason it's a thing in the North Americas is because of marketing.
Still, the marketing's out there. People will buy bacon Band-Aids, for crying out loud.
So pig's milk is not safe for consumption by humans, or is not considered suitable at the very least. It is very high in fat and more watery. The pig also is uncooperative and is spooked by human presence, and a lactating pig is very aggressive.
Pigs are also quite smart, and they're really emotional.
And omnivores.
Also, Sin, because you kept trying to scroll past something, I'm just going to leave that there, so whenever you open up for reference, yeah. Anyway. Maybe I'm going to hell. Maybe
Sometimes
it's Maybelline.
I really don't like you.
It's definitely Maybelline. I'm not going to hell. Yeah, well,
I mean, if you want something else to taint us to look at, I could pull up that Nosferatu in the weird glittering outfit.
Ew! God, any picture of a Nosferatu trying to look attractive is just, oh my god, burn my fucking eyes out.
Gooby, please.
Like, I'm trying to imagine Peter in really good clothes with how he looks, and I'm like, the clothes are nice, but God, stop it, Ron. Yeah, that was good. Good setup happening, getting some things rolling. Seemed like everybody had fun.
Did you earn any XP for the session?
Indeed.
It just seemed so short today.
How long was it, Spoon? Should have been about 2 hours, 2 hours and maybe 3 hours.
I have 3 hours of recorded footage, but that's with like at least an hour of us twiddling our thumbs with the recording off.
Was it an hour?
At least an hour.
Well, because we had a couple breaks, and then we had a couple one-on-ones.
Yeah, the one-on-ones, that's true. So if we put the one-on-one footage in there, maybe it'd be a little bit longer. That was probably about an extra 15 minutes, maybe? 15,
I remember me and Star being here, and me at one point going, like, oh yeah, it takes 10 minutes, and I see how it is. Very nice, after like half an hour, and then he came back, and then...
No way!
Yeah, it was a pretty long time.
Holy shit, I thought it was 10 minutes.
There's no way it was half an hour.
I guess I just hate you and Spoon. Like, there's really no other
an hour total between, like, Thea and Star's individual things.
Okay, so then it makes sense that it would have been 3 hours if you include the... Okay. So, okay, yeah, it was about normal-ish. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess, huh?
Indeed.
Woo-la.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how much more stuff I can kind of get written up, I will see what we can do in the future about maybe adding an extra session depending on everybody's availability. I know Spoon mentioned that he's a bit busier lately, so I don't know if that's possible for him. But I will see what can be done if that's a possibility in the future, if there's interest. Because I know you guys got kids and responsibilities and adulting stuff to do.
I mean, if it's this time of day,